When superstar Rajinikanth combines with Malayalam heroes, magic happens on the screen. We saw Rajini with Mammootty in Talabadi and how beautiful that was. And of course, much more recently, we saw Rajini with Mohanlal, and that we saw it in the film Jailer. And wow, a very small role, but what an impactful one. And probably Mohanlal got a new generation of Tamil film fans from those few scenes. So we all know Rajni to be somebody who's very encouraging to junior artists and up and comers. He invites them to his house and he blesses them and sometimes even promotes their films. But let us not forget that, as Rajini himself put it, he is a child that grew up, or a plant that grew up in the fire of hatred. If you see one of his audio launches, if I'm not mistaken, it's Jailer, he mentioned that. So it's a dog eat dog world, and Rajini did not simply come up by being naive and careless. When he came in, he was an outsider literally. He's not even from the state of Tamil Nadu. But yet, with determination and a lot of good habits and a lot of spirituality, he came through many obstacles. So the popular things we see in the public, in the media, is about Rajini, being very positive, encouraging about all the up and comers. But at the same time, we should not forget that Rajini is also somebody who's quite alert about competitors. So of course we all know how Rajini and Kamal parted ways, okay, to avoid each other eating up each other's aura and how to say celebrity power. But he also Rajini also is careful about how who he works with, and he's smart about it. To thespians like Sivaji Ganesan, Amitabh Bachchan, who are more grand and senior than him, he has no objections to let them show off their fire. He's fine with that. He also really likes villains to perform very well. Raghuvaran, Ramya Krishnan in Padayappa, even recently in Jailer, Vinayagan, and so on. So he knows that adds power to the movie. However, when it's come to the topic of another hero, then he's much more careful. We all probably have read in various media about how Dhanush tried to act together with him a few times. How Siva Karthikeyan approached even during Jailer, because Siva Karthikeyan and director Nelson are close friends. So Rajini is quite careful about that, because you can be, as he himself said, you can be a nice guy, but you can't be too nice a guy. Right now, we know that Mohanlal is a legend in Malayalam cinema, and Mohanlal has acted since 1978. Man, he has done what 300 something movies, if I'm not mistaken. Right, such a versatile performer, and the question now is the way Mohanlal is giving interviews. Literally every other interview, Mohanlal is going out of his way during this promotion of Empuran, the Malayalam part 2 of Lucifer. If you saw his interviews, Mohanlal is going out of his way to tell every single interviewer, please, they are making the film Jailer 2, but nobody has invited me yet. I will be very happy to go if somebody calls me. Now, that's very peculiar. Mohanlal can just pick up the phone and casually ask Nelson, is there any role or something like that. He seems to be a very humble person, very easygoing person. He's willing to go out in public and ask that if he's given a chance, he'd love to act. So what's wrong with him casually asking how's the Jailer film progressing and if there's any role? If there's no role, no problem. Just wondering because maybe I want to clear my dates if there's any and so on. So that seemed very peculiar. And for those who might not know, Rajini and Mohanlal they have been quite close for many years. One of the reasons is Mohanlal's father-in-law Balaji was a famous producer in the 80s, and he worked with Rajini back in the day in some hot films. Hot as in Tea is one such film, if my memory serves me right. So for such close friends, why the Jailer 2 team is silent on Mohanlal? Many of the interviews are saying that, oh no, they're just trying to hide and keep it a secret. If that's the case, Mohanlal would be answering in a very vague way. He might say, you just wait and see, or the talks are still going on. You saw how Nelson answered when people asked him about Jailer 2, right? He said, I can't say anything now, wait for the official announcement. That's the way they will answer. But here he very clearly is saying that shooting of Jailer 2 is going on, and nobody called me yet, right? So is Rajini seeing the way the audience are responding to Mohanlal and thinking that if I give him a role in the Jailer 2, he will suck up all my aura, all my popularity, and it will look like I'm a guest star in my own film? Do you all think that Rajini has such insecurities? That's a very interesting question. Why this I put this post is because I felt it's very very peculiar that Mohanlal is making such a public request to be included in Jailer 2. You might say it's just as a joke, but if it's a joke, why is it on literally every single interview? In fact, for the Irfan influencer interview, he went so far as to say that could you please also tell him that I'm interested to join Jailer 2, something along these lines. So now the Jailer 2 team is under pressure, and later when Nelson comes for promotions, definitely all the interviews will ask him if Mohanlal is not in the film. Everybody will ask why was Mohanlal not included, and that will be very interesting for Nelson to answer. But putting aside conspiracy theories, more realistically speaking, I think it could be possible that they don't want the audience to be bored. If we see Mohanlal again, Shivraj Kumar most likely is inside because he allocated some dates for the film. Maybe they worried that it will look too repetitive, too similar to part one, and the audience might get bored, right? So maybe they want to bring new faces like perhaps Balakrishna from Telugu film industry, and maybe even S.J. Surya and so on. So that might be one theory, but it's very peculiar. So what do you guys think? Is it just a random coincidence, number one, or number two, is it that the Jailer team will only call Mohanlal once his portion comes in? That's again very peculiar because it's relatively unprofessional, because if you only call the actor when you're about to shoot him, let's say Mohanlal is busy with something else that time, then the whole plan will go to hell, right? So Sun Pictures is a very professional production company. Nelson is a very professional director, very well planned director. So it's very unlikely that he didn't inform Mohanlal beforehand and did not get his permission if Mohanlal was planned to be in the Jailer 2 film. So I do think that Mohanlal being in the film seems a bit less likely now, unless something changes. This interview might be a pressure to change, because now maybe Rajini will start asking and Nelson will start asking, and to avoid any kind of a negative image or even the Malayalam fans from becoming upset, they might say, why not give him a few minutes, maybe like that. So this is interesting because this shows that even though they are super duper stars, people like Amitabh Bachchan, people like Mohanlal and so on, even at this age, they are still hungry to show off their skills, to join in any exciting team, to appreciate talent. They don't have any kind of ego or this kind of thing. Ego is there in a certain way, like for example Mohanlal, I think he might expect Nelson to come meet him and narrate the story, that's the way it should be, rather than him calling up Nelson. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it's a very peculiar phase in the Jailer 2 saga, and we'll all be keeping our eyes open to see what's going to happen next. Perhaps this effort by Mohanlal might cause Nelson to change his plan, or maybe Nelson will keep to his plan. Maybe he's very ambitious, he has a Jailer 3 plan and thinking of maybe bringing Mohanlal back into that third version of it. But anyway, Mohanlal is pushing hard. This Empuran seems to be one of the pan-India effort by Malayalam film industry, and Mohanlal also talks about how from Kala Pani times they've been making multiple efforts. He's a never give up kind of guy. So will Mohanlal win